Each transformation increases what I call objectification, removing the speaker or writer as the source of model assessment. This is an actual objectivity, but construed objectivity, a crucial distinction for understanding academic discourse. This relates to Halliday's concept of semantic junction. Grammatical metaphor doesn't just provide an alternative expression, but creates a new meaning potential. The accumulation of such metaphors is foundational to scientific discourse. Our research questions proved a fundamental aspect of SFL theory. First, we examine the system and instantiation, not simply counting the model expression, but investigating how the system potential is instantiated in an actual test. How do register-specified patterns emerge from the systemic choices? For the second research question, we follow Phó Phương Dung's groundbreaking 2008 work. We explore how model expression correlates with rhetorical moves. This addresses the intersection of an interpersonal meaning with generic structure, how meta function serves genre. The third question, with the third research question, we investigate how typological differences between English and Vietnamese constrain or enable metaphorical realization. This speaks directly to the SFL typological project initiated by Kaffer, Martin, and Matheson. And these aren't merely descriptive questions, but they probe the universality of SFL categories and the relationship between linguistic structure and meaning potential. Our methodology operationalizes SFL theory for empirical investigation. The register configuration shows economic research abstract as a highly specialized register. The field encompasses economic knowledge construction. The tenor involves the expert-to-experts communication with unequal power relations. The mode is written formal with language that playing a constitutive role. We employed a dual-layer analytical framework. Phó Phương Dung's model provides the generic structure, 5 rhetorical moves. Halliday and Matheson's system network guides the model analysis. This integration reveals how interpersonal meaning serves textual organization. And we are showing our coding format on the screen, as you can see. The coding architecture captures the choices at multi-strata simultaneously. For example, this code like the PRBL, CR, so for each class, we have the primary category, and then we have the subcategory, and how it is realized, the time, the value, or the orientation and polarity. For example, we have the phrase may result in. With this text, we have the low probability. The concurrent realization is done through the model auxiliary, low value, objective orientation, and positive polarity. However, with it is necessary to, we have the high obligation. which is metaphorically realized by the its structure, high value, objective orientation, and positive polarity. For findings, now let me share our findings, starting with system choices. So the most striking finding here is that English shows 77.6% modularization, while compared to Vietnamese at 36.4%. Conversely, Vietnamese shows 63.6% modulation versus the English at 22.4%. These differences are highly significant statistically, but what does it mean theoretically? The English economic discourse treat claims as propositions to be a set for probability, the knowledge as negotiable, uncertain, and requiring hatching, whereas Vietnamese economic discourse treat the claims as proposals requiring action. Knowledge function as directive, actionable, therefore require implementation. Looking that deeper, we have a probability dominates the English at 69.4%, with may, likely, possibly pervade the discourse. Obligation dominates the Vietnamese language discourse at 53.4%. For example, we use cần phải, which is literally translated into English as must, should, or need to. In SFL, this challenges assumptions about the universal feature of academic discourse. The modulation distinction appears culturally motivated, not just systemically given. This links to broader questions about how different cultures construe the language through the knowledge through the language. Below the type, we see significant differences in how meanings are realized. English shows 40.8% metaphorical realization, quite high, right? Vietnamese shows only 29.5%. This suggests the typological constraint on metaphorical potential. And considering the metaphoricity gradient from the most concurrent to the most metaphorical, modal auxiliary are the most concurrent direct modal expression. The nominalization is the most metaphorical, with the complete objectification of the modal meaning. Very interestingly, projecting clauses are the most common metaphorical strategy in both languages. 21.4% in English, 15.9% in Vietnamese. However, the natures may differ. English use varied projections like evidence suggests, findings indicate, or data demonstrate, whereas the Vietnamese projections typically comes from like kết quả nghiên cứu, literally translated as suggest research results as the sayer. This raises the theoretical question: Does Vietnamese do science less metaphor, or does it employ different resources for abstraction? Can language, with limited morphology, achieve the same semantic effects through different means? The distribution across the rhetorical moves reveals the very interesting patterns, as you can see on the screen. In move number 4, both languages concentrate modalization, which show how we summarize the findings. English 31.6%, Vietnamese 34.4%. This is where probability assessment is crucial, where the writers must indicate their claims, and this shows us that the generic pressure overrides the cultural preferences. Similarly, both languages shift to modulation in move number 5, which discuss the result. 50% in English and 46.4% in Vietnamese. This is where the implications are drawn, where proposals for action emerge. The theoretical significance shows that genre create functional pressure for certain model types at certain stages. This support Martin's conception of genre as the pattern of register patterns. The certain meaning are attracted to certain stages. While moves tracks a similar model times crush linguistically, the decree and realization strategy still vary culturally. Generic structure provides a template, but cultural values influence how the template is realized.